So today's session we will be seeing how the accent marks are mentioned in the Vedic Samhita Patha. Because for today's session is how we can convert those accent markings when we take the Padapatha. Yeah, so I'll have a separate session on what the Samhita is, what this high level we need to know that Samhita is the main, the core, you could say, of Vedas, where the mantras are all there. These are directly heard or seen or realized by the sages during their yogic meditation. So these are not written by someone; they experienced it or they realized it. So with that background and the difference between Samhita and Padapatha, the Padapatha has been created, not just Padapatha, similar like that. There are many variations. These have been created for, we could say, three purposes. One is to learn the Vedas. Another is to the protection, because in those days the written script was not there and it was all only through hearing. Travels from one person to another person, there could be mistakes. They might hear it differently. So if the same mantra is now split pada by pada, word by word, then even if we had thought it was something different, now when we see the specific words listed separately, they would get to know which was the right one. So this way, for understanding, for learning, and for the preservation of the Vedas, we have these other options like Padapatha. So with that background, we will. I'll start my screen sharing. I have a prepared for this.
Now you said Padapatha. I am allowed to ask questions in between, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I know the answer, I'll tell immediately. Otherwise, I can still find out the answer and I can add it to the video or put it in the comments.
Conclude certain things I would like to ask. If you continue, I will not interrupt you. Basically, you know, we have stopped about the prologue. I would like to ask this question. Thing, you said Padapatha is brought into the lesson to ensure the Vedas swaras are not, what I say, it is not
misinterpreted, missed. Somebody understands it differently, and
to safeguard the swaras of the main lesson, the Padapathas has been brought into picture, right?
Yeah.
Now, if so, why there is a difference between the swara marking in the main Samhita and the Padapatha? Why don't we maintain the same in the Padapatha?
Exactly, good question. Probably as we go through this session, you would get to know the answer by yourself. If it is not covered, let's take it as a question and we will handle it. So when you get to know what is this swara, how it is marked, then you would realize naturally that it has to be done little differently in the Padapatha. That we would see now as we get into the session.
Okay.
So first thing that we need to note here is we are dealing only with vowels and consonants are not considered. So when we look at the mantra, when we are doing these markings, whether it's udaatta-anudaatta-svarita or ekashruti, also called as prachaya, we are focusing only on the vowels, the swaras, and we can simply ignore the consonants. And at a very high level, this is how it is. Udaatta is a swara which doesn't have a marking. I'll be going through this again, the same slide again in detail. Anudatta is a swara which is marked this way. Svarita has a specific marking, and Ekashruti doesn't have any marking. So we'll come back to this. Here, actually, my experience with this is a half-an-hour session or 1 hour session that Madam conducted on this topic, Dr. Srimati Vanitha.Ramaswamy Madam, who is taking classes for our MA students. So I just heard all of these, whatever I'm going to share today from her, and since many of them couldn't attend the class, I'm creating this so that it could benefit more people. And this is a topic which I felt that if someone explains it orally, we would get it far better than reading a book that way. So hence this attempt here. Okay, now Madam was stressing so much that you should consider only udaatta to be the one and only swara. So what really matters when we take the mantra there is the one and only udaatta. So that is the main, that attracts all the attention. So the others are just to support this udaatta. And actually, it will be easier to take an analogy, and I would like to take this example. Our triplicane Parthasarathi temple procession. The unique aspect about this one is before the deity, there will be a group of this Parayana Goshti who will be chanting Divya Prabandham or the Dravida Veda, and then the deity will come. So when we see this group coming, we would know that the deity is not very far behind, and people will start rushing from inside the house. They will all start coming out and standing in the front of their houses. So this is the speciality about this specific procession. So in this, let's see the order. So initially, if we take udaatta to be the supreme swara in every specific Padam, if udaatta is going to be the supreme swara, then what precedes it is the anudaatta, and they have certain identification. So there are so many people walking on the road, but you can still make these people out as a group. So and we know that what they indicate is the deity is following immediately. So anudaatta precedes udaatta, and it has a marking. Then udaatta. Is there any uniform given to the deity? No, definitely not. But still, we can easily know that this is the prime deity. Then follows the Svarita. Again, in triplicane, we would find another group of people chanting Vedas, and they would be following the deity. So this Svarita indicates that the deity has just gone, and we are following the deity. So this one, Svarita, is a marking, and we are able to identify them. So Svarita is a marking which indicates that the previous one was a udaatta. And again, another speciality of triplicane is all these little fellows there. They would have their own groups, and based on the specific procession that is happening, they would have miniatures, and they will try to imitate it so much. The original deity, the alankaram that has been done. This goes like a competition. It could be either one group or different groups of these small people who would try to create those miniatures, and they would follow. So this is Paryaya Padam, Prachaya, and Shruti. Both indicate the same thing, Ekashruti. So after Svarita, these people follow, and it is optional. So when we see them, it doesn't indicate anything. They are just following the Svarita, and they don't have any specific identification. So it could be again the group of all devotees who follow the procession. So after and before the main deity, we have, so to sum it up, we have the presiding deity which is preceded by a group, and also we might have the others that also follow. And here, coming to the marking, the underscore indicates anudaatta, no marking for udaatta, and for Svarita, it is a small superscript, a small line written above the specific akshara. Again, to remember, it is all dealing with only vowels. whatever consonants are there. And you would have one or more ekashruti, and the important point would be still make out the difference between.
No, Ekashruti, you said something.
Can you tell
We
how
are not able to. We are not able
both
to
are
hear
not
you.
marking?
Ekashruti.
Yeah, ekashruti. Can you tell how we will be able to see and differentiate it from udatta, even though they are not? How will it as ekashruti
Audio
or
is not clear. Audio is not clear.
is it Guru Prasad, are you able to hear?
Okay, okay. Come back again. You were telling about
Yeah. So
Ekashruti. The audio was not clear then.
so okay. Did you get this udatta and the previous one anudatta? Again, the term anudatta itself means it is na udattaha. It is not the main swara. So that is the meaning of the word anudatta. Again, the swarita, ekashrutihi, or also called as prachayaha, all these are also technically they are anudattaha, which means they are not udatta. So there is only one swara which is called udattaha, and everything else is anudattaha. But these anudattaha have special names. So if it precedes a udatta, it is called anudatta. But if it follows a udattaha, it is called svaritaha. And if something comes after svarita, then anudatta that comes as ekashruti or prachanam.
So, lot of disturbances, madam. Lot of disturbance.
But are you able to see the slides that I am moving, navigating? Or
No,
are you?
the first slide alone is there. Marking accents in Padapatha based on Samhita Patha. That is the only thing appearing.
Oh, sorry. I'll just go through them again. Give me a minute. I'll repeat the same thing again. Yeah, now I'm sharing the slideshow. I was sharing the slide. Yeah.
Okay.
So now,
Again, marking.
uh,
First, Vedic accounts, accents. Okay.
yeah. So this is what we would be covering again in detail. So I was telling about the temple procession where we have a group that precedes the main deity, and
Correct.
so anudatta is something that precedes udatta. Udatta, you can take it to be the most important swara in every pada. So that is the swara that the sages saw when they heard the entire mantra, when they received this mantra, the stress was given there. So something important about that specific swara in each pada. So that is udatta. And so to indicate udatta, now here a group precedes. So we are able to identify them. And by looking at them, we can say that the next one that is going to come is the udatta. So udatta is the main swara. It is the supreme. It doesn't require any marking or identification, but we can still make out that it is the main swara. And we have the next group chanting the Vedas that follow the udatta, the main deity, and this is called swarita. So they have an identification. So when we see them pass by, we know that okay, the deity has already gone and they are going behind the deity now. And I was also mentioning about the small groups of boys who create miniatures, and they could optionally, in cases of big functions and festivities, they would also create miniatures and they would follow this. So there could be one or more groups. There could be group of devotees who simply follow the deity and in that procession. So these are all called ekashruti or pracheya. And the point here is they would also, while Anudatta has a marking and Svarita has a marking, these Ekashruti and Udattaha both don't have any marking. My question is, how will you identify mantra when you see? How would you know whether it is Shruti or Udaatta?
No sound from your side.
I'm asking a question. If you know the answer, tell.
No. Tell me, what is the question? I have not heard.
Okay. Question is, how will you identify whether it is a Eka Shruti or a Udaatta? How will you determine?
Eka Shruti or Udaatta? Eka Shruti will not have. Okay. If it should follow the Udaatta, that first I know. Eka Shruti and Prachaya.
Yeah. So the point here is Udaatta is the one that we need to identify. So whenever we get the mantra, the first thing is we would identify the Udaatta. How we would identify? By looking at the Anudaatta and the Svarita. So by looking at these two, we would be able to identify the Udaatta, and anything else. Everything is technically Anudaatta. Anudaatta means that which is not Udaatta. Udaatta is the main swara. Veena could go on hearing echo. So Udaatta is the main swara. Veena, I'll mute you. If you want to talk, you can unmute and talk. So Udaatta is the main swara. Then before that we have Anudaatta and Svarita. Looking at these two, one of these might be present. Looking at one of these, we can determine which is the Udaatta. So far, is it clear?
That means the Udaatta is always following the Anudaatta. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is the only identification mark. Is that the only identification mark?
Though there is no mark for Udaatta, you can identify it by looking at next point here. There are some.
No. Madam, lot of audio disturbances. Say Udaatta is identified by the preceding Anudaatta. Am I right? That is the only marking.
What is the marking? Say that again.
Is Udaatta is identified by Anudaatta, the preceding marking of Anudaatta. Preceding mark of Anudaatta only Udaatta is identified. Am I right?
Yeah, either that or by the following Svarita.
Svarita.
It could be either or both.
Okay, if there are two Udaattas and one Anudaatta in front and one Svarita on the back, the first Udaatta is the one we have to take into account.
Okay, coming here, one thing we need to remember is there can't be, in general, usually there can't be two Udaattas. One word can have only one and only, max of one and only Udaatta.
Okay.
Only one Udaatta. But now that you have brought this point, in this specific slide itself, I like to show you a not so common case where there could be two deities. So in the example, I have taken it as deities, but actually, literally also, in the Vedas also, you would get this kind of a situation in the rare thing where we have a Dvandva Samasa with two Devatas, like Mitra, Varuna, Rama, Krishna. So only in that Dvandva Samasa, because both of the words they demand the presence of a Udaatta, only in that remote case we would have two Udaattas. Otherwise, in one Padam, there can be
if that be the case, can a word begin with Svarita? Hari Om? Hari Om?
Yeah, it can't be. Svarita is put only to identify Udaatta, so there cannot be any word which starts with Svarita.
Okay, that means any word to start, you can start either with Anudatta or Udatta. Am I right?
Correct. You are right.
Okay, fine. Please proceed. Hari Om?
Okay. So, what were you able to hear?
No, not. I am getting your audio cut in between. That's the whole problem.
Okay.
Oh, you are typing it
I
out
will
or
mute you. Maybe it will help when I mute you. When you want to talk, you unmute and talk.
uh,
Once
I don't know
again.
how to do it. This word has seen or heard will say
No,
things.
no. You type in chat or something. When you want to talk, you type in chat. Wants to join us in video. 1 second, hold on. Who is there? Who is it? It's written. Josna, hello. I have sent a link to the group ID. Just click on the link. You will join the session. Yeah, just click on the link. I've sent in a mail. So, as I was saying, there is only one swara that was seen or heard by the sage, who are the drishta, and there is this uchaihi udattaha nichaihi anudattaha svarita. We will move on to the actual marks. We'll understand. I'm muted you. If you want to talk, you can unmute or you type. Then I'll unmute you. Let's take this mantra. The numbers I have given: book number, page number, and the mantra, Rigveda mantra in Sutta 35, the first mantra. Kvayam yagnim pratamam swastaye. That's how it starts. So here the markings are already given. So one point to note that when just the mantra is given without the markings, there is no way we can do the marking, because there could be multiple swaras, and which swara becomes the udatta can't be determined by us. It was that specific vowel that was seen by the sage as the most important one. So we would be given the Samhita Pata with these markings. And now the thing is, let's start identifying with the rules that we have learned earlier. Let's start identifying the udattas now. So, sir, I'll unmute you. You see if you are. I can't unmute. You should only unmute yourself. Okay. Anyone else who can unmute themselves? Can you please? Let's do the exercise as an interactive one. We will start identifying the ones. Guru Prasad, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me which are all the udattas quickly. You need to leave by 9, is it?
Correct.
Yeah. Just tell me the udattas.
Udatta, here.
Va here. The a before ya. Yeah. Va.
Va. Gni.
The reason is because this is a svarita. Then
Anudatta. Then the ni is the svarita. Ni is the anudatta. Udatta.
Udatta. Because
it is followed by a anudatta.
Yeah, preceded by a anudatta and followed by a svarita.
Sorry.
So
Preceded by a anudatta. Sorry, correct. And then ma followed by a and preceded by a anudatta. Ta is also ta. Second.
Then
va.
Because
it is preceded by a. It is followed by a it's followed by a svarita.
Also preceded, because in Samhita Pata it is a continuous text. This Anudata doesn't mean anything as far as this specific padam is concerned. It is present only to indicate that the next one in the Samhita Patha is a Udatta.
Me.
Which one?
Me.
Why?
It is followed, it is preceded by a Svarita.
Svarita is a Veda group that follows Udatta, and Anudatta is the one that precedes. So this is between. Look at it follows the Svarita, so it has to be
Svarita.
Ekashruti. Monotone. Ekashruti is called monotone. So it is the Ekashruti or Prachayaha.
Me is the Anudatta, and then subsequent Tra is the Udatta, because it is preceded, before it we have Anudatta. Va is not, it is followed by a Udatta. But how do I know if it is the Dvandva case?
It is followed by a Svarita. It is followed by a Svarita, so that is also an Udatta. And I told you it is a rare case of, this is actually when you split it, it comes as Mitra Varunau. So in Mitra, the Ta is the Udatta, and in Varunau, the Va is the Udatta. That is why this is a rare case where we have two of them to be Udattas together.
Okay. Varuna. Na is the Ekashruti. Ha is Udatta. Before it we have Anudatta.
Udatta.
Ha is Udatta. Before it we have Va is Anudatta. So following it is. Sorry, I have to go.
The say is what? Yeah, you can leave. Thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to try? Narayanan sir, were you able to unmute yourself?
Actually, you mentioned the Ekashruti now. What is the Ekashruti? How did you find out? Na is Ekashruti, you said.
This me is Ekashruti here because it follows the Svarita. You relate it to the small children which who they follow the Veda group. DT goes, after that the Veda group, that is the Svarita, and after the Svarita, whoever follow, all the devotees, all those small groups of children, everything is the Ekashruti.
Okay.
Monotone, Prachaya. So this me becomes a Prachaya because it follows Svarita.
Which one? Me? Which one is it?
Are you able to see my pointer?
Yes, yellow marking.
This me is actually Ekashruti. Same here.
It follows the Svarita.
Same here with this say, because it is following a Ekashruti.
Now Varunau, now Mitra Varunau, now.
No. Okay, this one. What is this? Yeah, this is also Ekashruti. Correct. Now, not now yet. It is currently now only. Only when we split it, it will become now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Proceed.
Now I understood what is the.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Subsequently, if you want to continue, in the next sentence, Va is the Udatta.
Now we can go
and me will be, actually, according to my understanding, me should be Ekashruti, but here Anudatta is mentioned. Why?
Yeah. So anything other than Udatta is an Anudatta. Just remember that. Anudatta means na udattaha is anudattaha.
Okay.
Which means it is that which is not an udatta. So everything else other than udatta is anudatta, but they have specific names when they perform specific activities. When they precede, they are called anudatta. When they succeed, they are called svarita, and those that follow after svarita are called ekashruti. So here this has a specific work in the Samhita Patha. It is playing the role of an anudatta.
Okay. So in that case, we have to go to Ratrim only. Me we are not touching upon because Anudatta. and it will continue to be Anudatta in Padapatha also. Am I right?
Yeah. That we will see. Don't worry about Padapatha now.
Okay, right. Now Ra is the Anudatta, Udatta there. In the next word, Ja is the Udatta. Next is Ye, Ve is the Udatta. And that is okay. And next sentence, Va is the Udatta. To you want, To is Ekashruti. To is Ekashruti. And Neem is Ekashruti. Niveshaneem. Neem is Ekashruti. Marking it?
Not Ekashruti. Don't say as Ekashruti.
Oh, sorry. Udatta is, sorry. Udatta is, Anudatta is there. So it's not Ekashruti. Understood. Wrongly mentioned. Then next sentence, Va is the Udatta. And Me is the Ekashruti. And Va, is the Ekashruti, the Udatta. And here Ta, Savita, Ta is the Udatta. And here nothing follows after Swarita. Anudatta is only following. Subsequently, Ta is Udatta. Udaye, Ta.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we have got till here. So if you see whatever we have marked, we were able to identify the Udattas clearly. And the unmarked Ekashruti also we were able to identify. Is that clear? Is this clear so far?
Yes, clear.
Yeah. Any questions?
It is Narayana.
Anand, go on.
Kshamyatam.
Okay. So what we have seen now is in the Samhita Patha we were able to identify which is Shruti and Svarita, or anyway they are marked. Right. Now we'll get into Padapatha, and for Padapatha we should have good knowledge of Sandhi, especially undoing the Sandhi that has been done. For example, here Hyami plus Agnim. Hyami Agnim has become Hva Ya. Hvayami Agnim has become Hvayam Yagnim. Yan Sandhi, and here Mitra Varuno plus Iha, it has become Navi. So Yantavante Adesha Sandhi, and here Ha plus A has become Ha, which is Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. So we should have the Sandhi knowledge to split the specific padas. So after splitting the specific padas, the important point is Udattas continue to remain the same. There is no change in the Udattas. Udattas is something which has been seen, I keep repeating, which has been realized by the sages to be the most important swara in a pada. So there is no change to it. He retained the Udattas as they were. Now we have the Samhita Patha where the markings are there, and we have the split Padapatha without the marking. Our work is to now start marking them. Okay. So let's take the first one. The first pada of that shloka. So now from what we have learned, can we quickly mark the Svarita and the Anudatta? Does anybody else want to try? Anybody in the group? Divya or Veena? Divya, Veena, one of you, can you send mail to Jyotsna for her to join this session? You can share the link. Okay, and Divya, would you be able to answer this? Oh, phone is not there. What about Mami or Veena?
But I want you to explain one sentence. Then we'll do the exercise for the second. This Padapatha
No, you know enough. Now you okay, sir, you only do it. Now you tell me which is Anudata and Swarita in Swami.
Okay, come back. Payami.
Anudata and Swarita. We already know Udata.
Payami.
Payami.
Here, udata is va. Udata is va. And subsequently, Swarita is marked in against ya, on the ya. So that's what I can understand. Rest of things I cannot do anything. Hello? Hari Om?
Are you able to hear? So what is ya? Mommy, Valita mommy.
Markings already markings are there. What do you want?
They are there in the Samhita Patha. Now you tell me the second line. In the second line, which is the Padapatha, which has been split as 4 padas. Now we will have to mark the Anudata and Svarita. So simple rule, after Udata it is Svarita, before Udata it is Anudata. So quickly tell me what I should mark here for Ya. For Ya it is Svarita, right?
Svarita. Yeah, it is Svarita.
Svarita. And for this
A is Udata. Im is Agni.
Ni is Udata, so this is Anudata, correct?
Anudata.
So before, it is simple. Before the Udata, mark it this way.
Anudata is
and
there.
after the Udata, mark it as a Swarita.
Svarita, okay.
Yeah. So that is what we have done now. So we have marked the Swaritas and the Udatas. Now we are left with only one. What is this? Pra. What can this be? Everything else is now marked.
Anusruti.
Ekashruti.
Ekashruti.
Ekashruti. Now in Padapatha, the speciality here is in Padapatha, you are focusing only on one padam. You don't know the existence of other padams. So you don't know that a previous padam exists and what is the udata there and all. Where in Padapatha, your focus is only on a specific padam. So what happens here is, this is also a anudata. As we know, everything is an anudata, only that which is not an udata is an anudata, but because it precedes an anudata, this is also an anudata. If it had followed it, we would have called it Svarita or Ekashruti and all that, but since it precedes it, we are calling it anudata. Is that clear?
Okay.
So that's about it. So we have identified the Ekashruti and this one, we find that this is actually a Anudata. This is probably the special case where we have a musical band also which precedes the Divya Prabandha Parayana Goshti. So before the deity we have one group, but even before that group there is a musical band during festivities that announce that the deity is coming. So like that there are 2 here. Clear? So we will move on to the next one. So the next one, who would like to try? Narayana, will you do?
I will try.
Nivedita,
Here, Payami.
Lalita,
Avase. Payami. Va is the Udata. So, Ya should be Swarita. And Mi is Ekashruti. Alright?
Okay.
Right. Next,
Correct.
Mitra Varunam. Mitra Varunam. Tra is Udata. So, Mi should be Anudata. And Varuna Va is Udata. So, Ru should be Swarita. And now should be Ekashruti.
We will.
Okay, is it right? Now is Ekashruti.
We have done that. Now,
Huh?
yeah, we will do that later. Now, yeah,
Okay,
now we are
okay.
here with Svarita and Anudaatta. We have done. Now, what do we do with this now and this one? Here also, this ha. We know that because it is a Svarita there, the previous one has to be a Udaatta. Is that clear?
Where
The
in
ha
who?
is split.
Here you come to the third word. Okay, in third word,
Ah.
ha, e is also udatta, and ha should
No,
be
the green ones I'm not doing now. The green ones I'm not doing now. Just
okay.
look at this va. The va is a Swarita
Ha,
indicates that the a has to be a Udatta, right? The va
va
Swarita
is swarita means is correct.
Udatta.
Anudatta it should be. It should be
It
anudatta.
is Udatta. A is a Udatta here.
Va is
Okay?
no. Va is swarita no. In the first line, va is marked as swarita.
Yeah. So a has to be the previous one is the Udatta.
Okay, fine, understood. Fine.
Yeah, and again when we see the Samhita Pata, the Samhita Pata, ha is there, it is getting split into ha and a. So,
Ah,
in this, the question is, would both become Udatta or only one? In that case, which one would become Udatta and all? Actually, the rule is like this combination. Anudatta plus Udatta can become an Udatta, Udatta plus Anudatta can become an Udatta, or even Udatta plus Udatta will also become an Udatta. So there are certain rules like that. But as far as this specific verse is concerned, we are very clear that A has to be a Udatta because Va is marked as Svarita. Clear so far?
yes.
But which one? Here, Nav, the now part. Now has to be definitely Ekashruti only because the Ru was a Svarita.
Correct.
So that is clear. Now we are left with only Iha. And that Nav and even V for that matter, if you see in the main Samhita Pata, the Ru, Na, V, all are only Anudattas, technically Anudattas. So, none of them is a Udatta. So, we are very clear that this E also has to be only a Anudatta. Is that clear? It can't be a Udatta because in the Samhita Pata, it is not marked as a Udatta. So,
Okay.
the E is marked as an Anudatta. Since E is marked as Anudatta, the one following it, we are marking it as a Udatta. Clear?
Okay. Now,
Moving on. Next one, can you?
anybody else saying now?
No, you can proceed. You can yourself
Okay.
say.
Okay, fine. Swayami ratrim jagataha niveshanim. Swayami. Va is udata. So ya is swarita.
And the next.
Me already marked as anudata. It will continue to be anudata.
No.
Swayami.
It is marked as Anudatta in Samhita Pata to indicate that the next one is Udatta. It is a continuous text there. But here you don't know the existence of the next word. You are concerned only
Okay.
about that word. So what will happen to the dream?
Then it means following swarita, it will be ekashruti.
Where is Svarita here? Ra is Udatta.
Ya is swarita. Va is udata.
Ra is Udatta.
Va is udata. So ya is swarita.
Next one. I'm talking about Ratrim.
Okay, you have come to that word. So ratrim here,
Yeah.
ra is udata.
Okay.
So 3 should be swarita.
Yeah, 3 Svarita. And the earlier one, what you are saying, Va, Yami, Ya is Svarita, so me has to be Ekashruti.
That you are not marked in yellow.
Yeah, not it.
So I thought, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead for a Jagataha.
Jagataha. Here, Jagataha, Ja is Udatta. So Ga should be Swarita.
Svarita.
And Ta is Ekashruti.
Yeah, easy, no, now. So for Ve, we mark the Anudatta, Svarita, and Ekashruti.
Correct.
So the last one, same way.
Ya should be Swarita and me should be Ekashruti. Va is De Udatta, so Va should be Swarita.
No. Va is Udatta, so De is Anudatta.
De is De. No, A is there, no? In Devam, De, A is there. That is a vowel.
Yeah.
Why we are selecting Va there?
Va in the Samhita Patha is marked as Udatta.
Okay, fine. So from Samhita Patha only we have to conclude that to be Udatta, right? I understand. So Va is
That's why I
Udatta.
kept repeating. Let's see if there any confusion. Udattas are marked in the Samhita Patha. They are the ones recognized by the sages. We are not determining which one should become a Udatta.
Fine, understood. So Va is Udatta, they should be Anudatta. And Im has no relevance because there is no vowel. And it will continue to be Prachaya Ekashruti, whatever it is. How will you call it? Im.
Yeah, this will be which one? It is nothing. Im is ignored. Yeah, proceed. Im is ignored. Vam, you take that together. Yeah, ignore it. Proceed.
Okay, fine. Then Savitaram. Tatra V. E is no. Ta is the Udatta. So V should be Anudatta. And anything that is preceding should also be Anudatta. I think Sa should also be Anudatta. E should be Anudatta. And Ra should be Udatta, Svarita. And Im will continue. Then Utaye. Who is Anudatta? A is Svarita. Understood?
Yeah, so we have done, this is all about it. So we had the Padapatha, we have completed the Padapatha. All the Padas we have marked now.
Correct.
We had the Samhita Patha, we have done the Padapatha. So this is the Samhita Patha and this is the Padapatha. You see the differences, you could notice that the Pra was actually Svarita in Samhita Patha, it has become a Anudatta in Padapatha. So like that, there will be changes. The me was Anudatta in Samhita Patha, but it becomes Ekashruti in Padapatha. So some minor differences. These they have also become Anudatta. I have one more example which you could have a look at it and you could confirm whether your understanding is right. You could probably run it in slideshow mode so that you would be able to do the steps by yourself and compare whether it is all correct. This is the main aspect of how to identify the Udatta and do the basic markings. But there are some next level rules where there are some exceptional cases, how to deal with it and all that. That I'll share once I get to know about them.
Fine, because you also mentioned about the impact of the earlier word, Padam, has got something to do with the present one you have mentioned in your writing.
Yeah, that we have already done. If you see here, these are the examples. The Prathamam in the first line, it was a Svarita in Samhita Patha, but it became a Anudatta in the Padapatha. Clear? So it was a Svarita because of the presence of the earlier word in the Samhita Patha. because it was a continuous text in the Samhita Patha. But in the Padapatha, we are concerned about only one word, so it can't begin with a Svarita. Same way, Hwayami, the Hwayami in third one was ending in Anudata, because it was followed by a word, another word which started with a udatta to indicate that that word is an udatta. The me was shown as anudatta. But now we are concerned with only one word, so we would mark it as ekashruti, or if the ya was not present. This hypothetically, if you had only udatta before another anudatta, you would change it to a svarita. Because svarita is already there, I have made it ekashruti. If the svarita was not there, I would have made it svarita. This would have become follows the udatta. So is that clear now?
Very much.
This was all about how the next word influences. So here in Prathamam, the first word was influenced by the first letter was influenced by the previous word. In the last line, Havayami, the last word was, or the third sentence, the third Padam, Vayami, the last aksharam was influenced by the next word, the first aksharam in the next word. But when we come to Padapatha, we remove that influence, we discard that influence, and we mark it as a Svarita or a Ekashruti. So overall, what will happen ultimately is, between Samhita Patha and Padapatha, what we would notice is all the udattas will remain as they are, except where they need to be split, and all the anudattas and the swaritas which are in the middle, they are retained, but only those swaritas which in the beginning, if there is a svarita in the beginning, it becomes a anudatta now, and if there is an anudatta at the end, it could become a svarita or a ekashruti. Is that clear?
Correct. Absolutely. Understood very much. I will do an exercise and send to you.
Yeah. So this is the shloka. I'll send this sukta also. You can try this sukta on your own and compare with what is coming as a result finally.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you.
Understood very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.